The first one, I should go back. The first one, I literally was sitting on the couch doing nothing. I was 3 days post-op. I thought I had bad heartburn for 2 days. One of my dear friends is an ER nurse out in California. And I called her and I said, what's going on? Is this heartburn? Is this typical from, abdominal surgery? And she asked me to explain it to her, and I did. And she's like, it might just be heartburn. I think you need to go to the ER. So I went to the ER, and they ran my EKG, and they're like, oh, your EKG is normal, it's great. Then they did my troponin levels and came back, and they're like, you're in the middle of a heart attack. And where I live, they don't handle that, so you have to get shipped out to a bigger hospital. And they shipped me to Bloomington, Illinois, and brought me right into the cath lab. And the tech doing it literally stopped, ran out, brought in the entire staff, and he's like explaining to them, I have never seen this in my career, you will never see this again in your career. He's like, you had a SCAD heart attack, your entire right coronary artery is split straight down, and he showed me on the screen, and he explained to his staff, we never see this because people don't live. And that was traumatic, the minute he said that. But it was so bad, there was nothing they could do. They couldn't stent it, nothing. So they put me on medications, Coumadin and aspirin. At the time, I did not know that I can't take Coumadin and aspirin. So I ended up going through a period of like a month, 6 weeks of stomach erosion, esophageal erosion, ulcers. I dropped 70 pounds in 2 months. I ended up having a splenic infarct. They didn't know why. And then another month later, I ended up having my second SCAD. I was making eggs for my son for breakfast. And, people are told that heart attacks are like chest gripping and whatever. That's not what it was like for me. It wasn't even to the point where it was like massively painful. It was a tightness in here like you have heartburn. It felt like heartburn. What concerned me was that the pains went down both arms, but there were distinct spots in my elbows and on my wrists that I could pinpoint. And then I guess I described it like hooks going up into my jaw and pulling down. Went in, left coronary artery. Again, they couldn't stent it. They couldn't do anything. I'm glad I survived. It's a rough road. I had never heard of a SCAD. I do know that there is heart damage done. I get checked often. They pay attention to what's going on. I'm supposed to go in for another angiogram, which I've put off because, like I said, our local hospitals don't handle heart issues. I have to travel. So I have to have another angio. They want to make sure that everything's healed appropriately, but there is tissue damage. You look up SCAD online, it's these healthy women who are athletic and who run, and I'm reading this going, that's not me. I'm at home with a book reading, so nothing has changed. I've PTSD, I'm gonna tell you, anybody who's gone through this is suffering PTSD. I thought, I would never have something like that. I do not go shopping by myself. Somebody has to be with me because I'm always afraid. It's in the back. I was sitting the first time and cooking eggs the second time. Who's to say that it's not going to happen as I'm driving down the road or as I'm walking down a grocery aisle? So I have this, I guess you would call it an unhealthy fear. But there's no way, you can't come to terms with that because there's nothing that says it won't happen again. And in fact, I had two. Chances are it will happen again. So the PTSD, I guess, is the worst thing to deal with. I didn't have high cholesterol. I had no reason to have a heart attack, which is why I knew this all prior to, which most people don't have that benefit, but I knew that, which is why I knew there had to be another issue. What caused this heart attack? Because I wasn't a textbook case. So I see a cardiologist regularly. My heart is monitored regularly. So I've had the EKGs and scans and whatever, and Do you have a healthy heart? Do you have a great heart? I didn't pity myself. I'm not that kind of person. I just take it as nobody in the world can kill me but myself. If you think it's not like heartburn, go to the ER, let them check it out, let them tell you nothing's going on. Don't think in your mind that, oh, I'll be fine, and then it's your last day. Be on top of your health. That's all I can say. And if you go to a doctor who's not listening to you, find another doctor. Get the help you need. Smile through the tears.